Up next, it's Milton Academy. Taking on Westwood High School. That's next on High School Quiz Show. Hi, everybody, and welcome to High School Quiz Show. I'm Joe Hanson, your host. We've got a great match on tap today, and we start with the toss-up round. All answers are worth 10 points. There are no point deductions for wrong answers, and players, you may confer. All right, good luck, teams. Here we go. A combination of tennis, badminton, and table tennis. What sport had its inaugural Grand Slam event at the 2025 Australian Open? Jacob.
Pickleball.
Pickleball is right. Describing the flamboyant anything-goes culture that characterized the 1920s, the term Jazz Age was popularized by what author of The Great Gatsby? Jacob.
F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Yes. Used to measure distances within the solar system, an astronomical unit, or AU, is based on the average distance between the Earth and what? Eli.
The sun.
Yes. Known for its ancient Mayan ruins and world-class scuba diving, the island of Cozumel is part of what country? Alex.
Mexico.
Mexico's right. For our next question, take a look at your monitors. What capital city of Cuba, seen here, is famous for its classic American cars in vibrant colors? Ellie.
Havana.
That's right. In the Peanuts special, Be My Valentine, Charlie Brown, Charlie Brown has an unrequited crush on the little red-haired girl. She was inspired by Donna Mae Wold, a woman who turned down a marriage proposal from what Peanuts creator? Ellie.
Schultz.
Charles Schultz is right. Dedicated to the criers, worriers, and huggers. A Different Kind of Power is a new memoir by what former Prime Minister of New Zealand? Reese.
Ardern.
Jacinda Ardern. That is correct. Known for the TV series Twin Peaks and the films Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive, what visionary American director passed away in 2025 at age 78? Reese.
Lynch.
David Lynch is correct. What Italian inventor opened the world's first radio factory in Chelmsford, England in 1898? We're looking for Marconi there. Our next question comes from a very special guest. Take a look at your monitors.
Hello, I'm Maurizio Marcocchio, Director of Marketing for Safety Insurance. Here's my question. Managing risk is highly mathematical and quantitative. Commonly used in insurance and finance, what statistical method is a reliable way of identifying which variables have an impact on a topic of interest? Is it regression analysis, frequency distribution, or probability density?
Eli.
Regression analysis.
That is correct. In 2025, after leading his team to a commanding 40-22 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs, what Philadelphia Eagles quarterback was named Super Bowl MVP? Hayato.
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is right. Which of the following is a synonym for demure? Modest, precious, or sophisticated? Ellie.
Modest.
That's right. Located above a secret Soviet lab in the fictional town of Hawkins, Indiana, Starcourt Mall is a key location in parts of what TV series? Reese.
Stranger Things.
Yes. The national flags of Pakistan and Saudi Arabia have a background of what color that's a symbol of Islam? Hayato.
Green.
Green is right. President Trump called for territorial expansion in his 2025 inaugural address, vowing to take control of what canal? Hayato.
The Panama Canal.
Yes. We are off to a great start. And now let's take a moment to thank the folks who make this show possible. Major funding for High School Quiz Show is provided by Safety Insurance.
It happens every day. Someone falls for a phishing scam. Cyber risk coverage from Safety Insurance is designed to help protect businesses from data breaches, ransomware, and other cyber attacks. Safety Insurance will help you manage life's storms, even the cyber kind.
Additional funding is provided by the Museum of Science, Massachusetts Teachers Association, Britebound, UMass Amherst, Subaru of New England, and Direct Federal Credit Union. Okay, welcome back. The score is Milton Academy with 80, Westwood with 60. Now let's get back to the game. The 2006 novel, Darcy's Story, is a retelling of what Jane Austen work from Mr. Darcy's point of view? Ellie.
Pride and Prejudice.
Yes. Nicknamed the Great Asparagus for his height, tall forehead, and prominent nose, what French resistance leader was elected president of France in 1958? Hayato.
Charles de Gaulle.
Yes. According to data from the CDC, what is the leading cause of death of college-age people in the United States, ages 18 to 25? Opioids, firearms, or skin cancer? Eli.
Skin cancer.
No. Westwood, you have a chance. Jacob.
Firearms?
Firearms is correct. Alkali metals are very reactive metals that do not occur freely in nature. These metals have how many electrons in their outer shell when neutral? Jacob.
1.
1 is correct. In Oliver Twist, Jack Dawkins is better known by what nickname that refers to his skill as a pickpocket? We're looking for the Artful Dodger. On May 3rd, 2025, Lady Gaga broke the record for the highest attended concert by a female artist, drawing more than 2 million people at her free concert at what famous beach in Rio de Janeiro? Reese.
Copacabana.
That's right. Approximately equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. What special number or constant tells you how many molecules are in a mole of any substance? Eli.
Avogadro's number.
Yes. In 1973, what House Republican leader replaced Spiro Agnew as Richard Nixon's vice president? Hayato.
Gerald Ford.
Gerald Ford is correct. With approximately 840 spoken languages, which country has the highest language diversity in the world? Papua New Guinea, Nigeria, or the United States? Hayato.
Papua New Guinea.
That's right. What element commonly found in clay has the chemical symbol Si? Yuhan.
Silicon.
Silicon's right. Collectively known as the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao are located in which sea? Hayato.
The Caribbean Sea.
Yes. Alleging it failed to exercise its critical role as a gatekeeper of dangerous prescription opioids. In 2024, the U.S. Justice Department sued what pharmacy giant based in Rhode Island? Reese.
Walgreens.
No. Westwood, you have a chance to buzz in. Jacob.
Johnson & Johnson?
No. We are looking for CVS, was that pharmacy. Carrots get their bright orange color from a pigment called beta-carotene, which is converted by the liver into what vitamin essential for good vision? Jacob.
Vitamin A?
Yes. In Greek mythology, the Sphinx killed every traveler who failed to answer her riddle. What hero finally solved it, causing the monster's demise? Ellie.
Oedipus.
Yes. In 1974, Turkey invaded the northern part of what Mediterranean island, leading to a division that still remains to this day? Jacob.
Cyprus?
Yes. And that is the end of the toss-up round with the score Milton Academy 120 points. Westwood has 150 points. Let's hear it for both teams. Last week, Westwood High School beat Amherst High School to earn the final spot in the bracket. In today's match, Milton Academy and Westwood are both hoping to advance. The head-to-head round is next, but first we're going to take a minute to get to know the players. All right, Milton Academy, you're on the hot seat first. Alex, do you want to tell everybody what your favorite sports team is?
I'm a big Knicks fan.
This is a pretty territorial city, passionate city. So what's it like cheering for a New York team around here?
It's always fun. Sometimes it can be a little hostile, though. Once I went for a run in my Jets jersey, and I kept running into the same guy, and he kept asking me if I was lost. But overall, it's fun. I like to support my teams, and yeah.
Are you a Yankees fan?
I'm a Mets fan.
Okay, that's a little bit better. Ellie, I heard you're a crossword puzzle creator.
I am.
Are there any tricks of the trade that could help anybody looking to get into crossword puzzle creation?
I think coming up with a good theme is always fun. Always makes it easier to start the crossword.
Do you start with a pattern and then try to fit that in, or do you go with your clues first, answers first, and then start moving things around?
I usually do like my theme words and then the black squares and then fill everything else in.
All right, I like that. Reese, you look like a dancer.
Yes, I've done a few types of dancing. Interestingly enough, I was in a tap dance that was co-choreographed by Ellie and then our friend Amara.
Ellie, how did he do?
He did great.
All right. Now, be honest, like, can you kind of wing it through there? They got somebody off stage kind of tapping to save you, or is it all on you?
Well, it's pretty complex, so you have to rehearse with a pretty reasonable deal of rigor, but I thought the better that I smiled and the more that I distracted people with my face, I could account for 2 or 3 mistakes.
I use the same rule up here. It's so weird. Eli, I hear you're a runner.
I am.
Have you ever been late to anything?
See, I like to consider myself a pretty punctual person. There's a lot of members of my family that are pretty late all the time, and I like to be the punctual one. But yes, at the championship race my junior year, I missed the start entirely.
Okay, that puts you a little bit of a deficit for winning. Doesn't increase your odds. How'd you end up doing?
It was a 200-person race, and I got 100th in the end. So considering I sprinted like the first half a mile just to catch up to really where I should have been at the start, I was pretty happy with it in the end.
Okay. Also on the Milton Academy team, we have mascot Stan the Stang, alternates Danielle and Solomon, and coach Joanna Latham. Okay, Westwood, it's your turn. Jacob, what's your sport?
Baseball.
What's your position?
I'm a pitcher.
Are you a starter, reliever? Where do you come in?
I'm kind of a mix of both. I come in relief a lot. I'm kind of like a multiple inning reliever.
Do you have any really great pitches you've mastered?
I throw a curveball, and I'd say I throw a pretty nice changeup.
Well, I've never hit a curveball once in my life, so you got me beat on this one. Alex, I hear that you are fluent in Russian.
Да, я говорю по-русски.
I'm going to assume that was a compliment directed at me. Does that come in handy at all?
Yeah, like online, when I want to watch videos in Russian, like it's really handy. And talking to my grandparents.
Okay, nice. Yuhan, I understand that you lived in China when you were younger?
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you moved?
I was 7 when I moved.
What do you think the biggest cultural difference from living in the U.S. to living in China?
It's like there's more people in China. Like I feel like people like a more crowded area better in China rather than here in the U.S.
So you don't mind a packed elevator?
No.
Don't be afraid to get too close to him up there, guys. Hayato, you've participated in Model UN?
Yes, I have.
Any major world events that you've caused? Any wars you've started?
I almost bankrupted Greece one time, so there's that.
What did you do, and how'd you save them?
We tried seceding from the European Union, and the Europeans didn't like it.
Okay. Rounding out the Westwood team, we have alternates Shane and Duanmu, and coach Jared Sargent. Let's hear it for both teams. Okay, it's time for the head-to-head round. In this round, correct answers add 10 points to the team total, and wrong answers result in a 10-point deduction. Clock is set at 90 seconds. You guys want to shake hands? Okay, here we go. The Chinese national flag features 5 golden stars on a background of which primary color?
Red.
Yes. In most state and federal criminal cases in the United States, trial juries typically consist of how many members?
9.
No, 12. Latin for ram. What constellation in the night sky lies between?
Aries.
Yes. Ralph Fiennes stars in the 2024 film The Return, an adaptation of what epic poem by Homer?
The Odyssey.
Yes. The North and South Islands of New Zealand are in which ocean?
Pacific?
Yes. Derived from the Latin meaning 6th hour, what Spanish word refers to a midday nap?
Siesta.
Yes. Scottish Fold and Maine Coon are types of what animal?
Cat.
Yes. What pop singer has her own line of fragrance called Riri?
Rihanna.
Yes. In which Middle Eastern country would you find the ancient city of Petra? Jordan. The 1960 movie Psycho is the highest grossing film of what director, known as the master of suspense? Alfred Hitchcock. What is the only planet in the solar system whose name is not derived from classical mythology?
Earth.
Yes. In the Harry Potter series, Bellatrix Lestrange and 9 other Death Eaters escaped from what prison?
Azkaban.
Yes. In 1945, 24 former Nazi leaders were charged with war crimes at trials held in what German city? Nuremberg. That is the end of the round. Let's take a look at the score. Milton Academy has 190 points, and Westwood has 160. It's a close one. Let's give it up for both teams. All right, it's time for the category round. And today's categories are peak interest, getting figgy with it, island time, spellbound, permission to come aboard, and shady characters. All categories have 5 questions with increasing point value. The teams will choose 2 categories each and have the option to toss 1 question per category to the other team that the other team must answer. Players, you are able to confer. All right, Milton, who's your spokesperson?
I will be.
Eli. All right. Westwood, how about you? Jacob? Okay. Westwood, you've got a little bit of ground to make up on the scoreboard, so the first category goes to you.
Yeah.
Island time.
Island time. These are questions about the island nation of Jamaica. For 10 points. Founded in 1692 as a place for survivors of the earthquake that destroyed Port Royal, what city became the capital of Jamaica in 1872?
Kingstown?
Kingston. It's done.
Kingston?
Kingston is right. For 15 points. Released posthumously in 1984, Legend is the best-selling reggae album of all time. It's a greatest hits compilation of songs by what Jamaican musician?
Bob Marley?
Yes. For 20 points. Widely considered the greatest sprinter of all time, what Jamaican sprinter won gold medals in the 100-meter and 200-meter races in an unprecedented 3 straight Olympic Games?
Usain Bolt?
Yes. For 25 points in Island Time. Starting with 1953's Casino Royale, what British author wrote all of his James Bond thrillers at his Jamaican estate called GoldenEye?
Fleming?
Ian Fleming is right. For 30 points. The 1993 film Cool Runnings is loosely based on the true story of the first Jamaican team to compete in what Winter Olympic sport?
Bobsled?
That is correct. Milton, category to you.
We're going to do spellbound.
Spellbound. In this category, I will ask you to spell the following words correctly. For 10 points. An author of plays. Spell playwright.
Playwright.
That's correct. For 15 points, a ruler of ancient Egypt. Spell Pharaoh.
Yeah. Pharoah.
No, it's Pharaoh. For 20 points. An act of torment or intimidation. Spell harassment.
1 or 2 S's? Harassment.
That's correct. For 25 points in Spellbound. Something supplied for convenience or to satisfy a need. Spell accommodation.
Accommodation.
No, there are 2 C's and 2 M's in accommodation. And for 30 points, a continually changing pattern of shapes and colors. Spell kaleidoscope.
Yeah. Kaleidoscope.
That is correct. Westwood, next category to you.
Peak interest.
Peak interest. These are questions about mountains. For 10 points. Known for having a bluish color when seen from a distance, the Blue Ridge Mountains are part of what larger mountain chain?
Appalachian?
That's correct. For 15 points. Despite being the tallest mountain in Africa, what mountain is relatively easy to climb and does not require any technical equipment?
Kilimanjaro.
Yes. For 20 points in peak interest, what mountains that stretch across Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia cause a rain shadow effect, preventing the areas beyond the mountains from receiving much rainfall?
Atlas.
Yes. For 25 points, what mountain in Washington state has the largest number of glaciers on a single peak anywhere in the contiguous United States?
Rainier.
Mount Rainier is right. For 30 points, higher than both Ben Macdui and Ben Lomond, what Scottish mountain is the highest peak in the British Isles?
Nevis. Are you sure? Let's just go for it. Ben Nevis.
Ben Nevis is right. Milton, your category.
Do we want to do shady characters or shady characters? Shady characters.
Shady characters. These are questions about trees. For 10 points. Also called gum tree, what tree endemic to Australia is the staple diet of koalas?
No. Eucalyptus.
Eucalyptus is right. For 15 points, redwoods, the largest and tallest trees in the world, belong to what genus named for a Cherokee scholar?
Sequoia.
Yes. For 20 points, the flag of Lebanon features what tree, an evergreen conifer known for its aromatic wood?
Cedar.
Cedar is right. For 25 points, natural rubber is usually derived from what milky sap inside certain rubber trees?
Toss.
All right, Westwood, this question goes to you.
Rubber sap.
We're looking for latex. For 30 points in shady characters, literally meaning tray planting, what term refers to the Japanese art of growing dwarf trees in containers?
Bonsai.
That's right. And that's the end of the category round. The score is Milton Academy, 285 points. Westwood is in the lead with 335 points. Let's hear it for both teams. Okay, we're heading into the final round of play, the lightning round. Correct answers add 20 points to the team total, and there is a 20-point deduction for incorrect answers. Okay, the clock is set. Here we go. Nearly all fossils are found in which of the three major rock types? Reese.
Metamorphic.
No, sedimentary. Because it can move any number of squares in any direction, what is the most powerful piece in chess? Jacob.
The queen.
Yes. Eels named Flotsam and Jetsam are featured in what 1989? Alex. Little Mermaid. Sumatra is one of the largest islands of which country? Reese.
Indonesia.
Yes. How many years of solitude are mentioned in the Eli?
100.
Yes. Who was elected to the Confederate House of Representatives after serving as the 10th President of the United States? Reese.
Tyler.
Yes. Who won her first Oscar for Best Actress for her title role in the 2024 film Anora? Reese.
Mikey Madison.
Yes. What is the 24th letter of the standard English alphabet? Jacob.
X.
Yes. Pop singers Shawn Mendes and Justin Bieber were both born in the 1990s in what country? Ellie.
Canada.
Yes. During the siege of Syracuse, the city was defended by war machines developed by what ancient Greek inventor? Reese.
Archimedes.
Yes. The Cherry Orchard is a famous work by what? Johann.
Chekhov.
Yes. What does the V stand for in the polymer known as PVC? Vinyl. What 2005 novel by Stephanie Meyer was inspired by a visit? Reese.
Twilight.
Yes. What capital city of the Democratic Republic of Jacob?
Galasa.
No. We're looking for Kinshasa. And the winning team this week is Milton Academy with a final score of 385 points. Westwood finishes with 375. What a match. Congratulations to both teams. Milton Academy now moves on to the quarterfinals. Join us next week for the match between Mansfield and Somerville. It's going to be another good one. So be sure to join us right here on High School Quiz Show.